So there's so many of freedoms that we have. We have freedom of worship and religions, a freedom of speech or expressions, a freedom of from of one, or freedom of from fear, or freedom of whatever what you want to do, and freedom of whatever you choose to have a freedom in for yourself. If those freedoms was taken away from you, then you realize that you feel the freedom is so precious to you. And that happened to me and my family in 1975. Okay. So when this morning I woke up and I was thinking, we lost our freedom back in 49 years ago. And sometimes I try to remember, I was at a young age, early age, like in teens, probably 9 or 10 years old at the time. And when I recall all the memories, it mixtures of happy memories, really sad memories. And when sad memory of our journey, how we get out of Vietnam to seek for freedom. And the journey, it was a horrible. It was a life and death experience. And you don't want to be in that situation my family I was in. Definitely not. So the meaning of freedom is different for everybody. So if anyone have different freedoms in their own choice, hope we stay for freedom for a long time. Okay, so Vietnamese War, that's between North and South. Everybody knows that war always costs lives, definitely. Doesn't matter how big the war is, how small the war is, always costs life. So back, the Vietnamese War is not only happened only 1975, but it happened early 1968. Between 1968 to 1975. That was like 7, 8 years long war. 1968, I remember 1969, my sister, my two older sisters, my mom, my parents had a business in Long Thanh. It's a small city, a little bit 589 kilometers or 263 miles from where we live, from South Vietnam, Saigon. And we own the shop there, we own business there. And my older sister and my second older sister managed that store. But that year was the war was going on. They were a victim of the war. My older sister lost one eye, her left eye. My second older sister lost her ring fingers on the left. Because they didn't get to when that happened. That was happened at night in 1969 when it was there. I don't know exactly what day. I hope my sister won't mad at me by telling these stories. But they didn't get to the bomb shelter fast enough. It would happen at night so fast. So they couldn't get to bomb shelter. That's why my older sister lost her eyes, and my next older sister lost her fingers. So they came, and 1969 was a bad year for all of us. But there was a victim of the war back in Vietnam in 1969. That's the war, it was long time. It has been a really long time. But, so in Wednesday, so work, like I said, work costs life. So we have like U.S. citizens, U.S. soldiers was there. I was helping us, and they lost. There was a total of 50,000 soldiers died, American soldiers. And South Vietnam is between 200,000 and 250,000 people died. Between North Vietnam is 1.1 million people died in the war. And up to 2 million civilians on both sides died in that year. So, the fall of Saigon, Vietnam, that was starting on Tuesday, 29, 1975. When the day that South Vietnamese were anxious to get out of the country. Most of them was, you see a lot of this happening when you was here, you saw it on TV, media, or a radio, because it was a popular word back in 1975. It happened here. So that was the most crazy day in our life, 1975. Everybody was trying, and you see the picture on the top, that people was lined up, people who worked for American Vietnamese embassy in Vietnam, they was lined up and to get a visa to get out of the country. And the people were trying to get a helicopter and a ship, and people was trying to get on the helicopter. It was a mad day. I never seen experience it yourself to that situation in that time of year. And the next day, on April 30th of 1975, that the day is the end of, it was the end of the war, Vietnam War. April 30th, 1975. And that was Wednesday. The day I never forget the rest of my life. Because that was the crazy day at all, on that day. And we thank you. I don't know who anyone here is Vietnam veteran. Raise your hand. Thank you. And we really deeply appreciate for your service there. And until now, we always thank you guys, for helping us and follow along with us to find the freedom. And we thank you for that. And on behalf of Vietnamese American people, we thank you for that. So, things happened that my family, we have people work for the Vietnamese Republic government. We should have a chance to leave, right? We was in middle class. We have money to go, but we didn't. Why? You wonder why we didn't leave then? Why we left behind? Why did we stay behind? And because my parents, my dad, have a lot of big ifs under his mind. I said, if we get out of the country, where we go? What country would accept us? How we could survive if we have language barriers? Will you everyone take the foreigners or immigrants come in your house, your country? How we live there? Are we going to pay tax for them right now? Are we tax for them to support them? So all these lot of ifs in my dad's mind, and that's the reason why we stay behind. And we assumes, my parents assumes that because they lived in North Vietnam early 1954. And they left North Vietnam and migrated to South Vietnam in 1954 because the communists was taken in North Vietnam. But they thought after 21 years in 1975, my dad maybe said, oh, maybe communists, maybe they change. They won't be hard on the people, or they won't do anything to us. So that was the wrong assumptions. So we stay behind, and we pay the big price after that. So as soon as the communists took over on Wednesday, April 30th, 1975, things changed, our life changed drastically. Nothing needs to be the same anymore. The communists, if you don't know what communists they try to do, here they try to do. These are objectives communists take over the country, the people, everything else. The first objective was currency. So what they did was they have people, after the first week, Vietnam was taking over the South. The communists make an announcement to every family, told them, you need to report and bring your own money to this money exchange offices. So we did. And that day was a horrible day, the day everybody bring them back. There's a lot of people, rich people still there, poor people live there, and some people, you can see a mad house on the street. People they carry a big bag of old money. And hopefully they should get some money, a lot more. Similar money from the North Vietnamese money, currency. They wish. But along the line, everybody was so anxious, was so scared, was no. I said, would we have the same money that we would exchange from the old government money to communist money? They was anxious. We was in line with them waiting there. We saw people walking out from the currency office, the currency exchange offices. They was crying, screaming, because they came in with a bag of money, and they come with a stack of money. That's all we have. That's the same thing that would happen to my family. My mom came in. We own jewelry store. We was labeled as middle class family. So we have own currency. We have the jewelry store. So we have a bag of money. So my mom came out. She cried. She said, "Oh my God, how I can live with this money to feed my 9 children." So she came out. So as soon as she came out, she got home, and she think about the furnitures, the things that she values a lot at home. She have to sell it to make some money. And it looks like garage sale. She paid $1 million down, and she got 100 down. So she get money to live for those years. After that thing's done, after all the current exchange have done, the communists, less than 2 weeks, and what they do, they start working on people who work for Vietnam Republic government, and they start working on them. The people who work for militaries in the services, or people working for American embassy, or any people who related to Vietnam Republic government, and they working on them. In my family, I have 2 older brothers-in-law. The oldest brother-in-law, he was working in the medical field, and so he was a mayor in Air Force, I believe. And the second older brother-in-law, he was in colonel in our army. They was being asked to report to the office at the local communist offices, that where they give them address, so they have reported. They said, you guys have to be there at that time and do that, and they show up. The first time they met, they say, okay, you need to go home and pack your things, pack your clothes. But they didn't tell them how long they'd be gone. The communists won't let you know that. So they came home, they packed their things in the luggages, the small luggages. They thought they'd not be gone for long. So the next few days after that, they've been drafted. They report to the local communist office. And since that day, their wives haven't seen them. They was taken somewhere else that we didn't know. They didn't know where they came. There we go. So their wives, my older sisters, who met their wives, they kept going to the office the local communist officers and ask those people working there, where's my husband? Where's my husband? They wouldn't tell me. I said, oh, they fine. 4 months later, they found out, they finally, after they've been begging them for the answers, when my husband was kept, they found out, oh, they in concentration camp nearby, was 3 miles away. So they came in there for a long time. My oldest brother-in-law was kept for 7 years. My second older brother-in-law, they was kept for 5 years. While they was living in the concentration camp, my sister had the time to visit them, and they did, and they couldn't, because they didn't know what situation, what conditions their husband in that concentration camp. So I remember I was with my sister, my twin brother was with her, who came to visit the husbands. And my sister told me she had to hide a bag of rice under her shirt and some food under the shirt, so she could bring to their husbands. That's how they did that, because they didn't have much to eat. They didn't have, you know what they had? Rice and salt and cup of water every day. That's all they have. So after that happens, when they came, after one of them left, came back home after 7 years in concentration camp. And he didn't live long after that. He had nightmares every day. And my sister on my own, there's my older sister, his wife, she asked when he got nightmare every night. He said, he woke up in the middle of the night and he's screaming. He said, oh, don't get me. I didn't do anything. I don't kill me. Don't kill me. Don't take me away. They're screaming every day. And my sister asked, what did they do to you? My oldest brother-in-law didn't tell me, because they're afraid of being watched by communists. Same thing, my second older brother, it didn't happen that. They both had nightmares, and they was suffering so much for many years in concentration camps. They died afterwards, both of them. One of them had a stroke, the oldest one had a stroke, and she said one day he got drugged and he died after that, because it was their nightmares. It was depression, big depression. When my oldest brother was in concentration camp, his sister was dying of cancer, and his wife was pregnant. His sister was in their bed. They wouldn't allow him to go home to visit her. And even after years, many years, when the first child was a few years old, that's the first time she met her dad. That's how it happened to people who work for our own governments back in Vietnam. That's how communists did to them. So after that, all the things they done, all the communists did to all the people who worked for the Vietnam Republic governments back then, after they done that, they put people in jails. There are a lot of people in jail we don't know. A lot of people didn't know what did happen to them. And some of people were dragged in because they found the history that they killed communists. So what they did, they took them and dragged them from south on foot to North Vietnam. They dragged them there on their foot. And some people couldn't handle it because of starvation, no food, no water. They didn't want to kill them. But their family didn't know where they at. They disappeared. But they wouldn't tell them what happened to them. That's how they did it to the people working back then. And after that, they start working the people who were middle class, wealthy people. And we are one of them. We was one of them. My family, and parents, my family was one of them. That day, I still remember, we lived in, let me see the house. That's a brick house right here. That's my parents' house. It wasn't like that. This has happened after they took our house. So they start working target on the middle class and wealthy people. If you don't have money, if you don't bribe them, definitely you go in jail. No question asked, no, there's no law, no nothing. Communist way is their way, that's it. Their ways or no way. That happened to us. So after that, they working on government, people working on government, they start on that. And on sudden, we have a group of people from the local communist office rush in our house. About 10 people came in our house with guns. And they say, lock the door, lock the door. So we lock both doors. They're afraid any one of us be escaped, they will sneak out and ran away. So they asked us to lock the door. So we have the round dining table that we normally eat for dinner, lunch. They forced us to sit there at the round table. It was my parents and my 9 children, all my siblings was there. And one of the head of the communist officers was sat right at the table. And they say, who owned this business? Who owned the jewelry business? And my parents say, my mom say, I did. I own this. And my sister, my oldest daughter, helping me manage it. And they did. And said, where you keep your money? Where you keep your jewelry there? So we pointed the safe box right at us. They said, take us there. So we took them there, we opened the safe. So they took out everything. And they take out and put on the table. They was prepared. They brought the bags with them. They knew what's going on. They knew exactly what they're doing. So they asked us, pour all the money, pour it in the bag. You know, this money and jewelry, it belongs to all people, poor people. It's not belong to rich people like you guys. That's what they said. And they took all the things we have for a living, to make a living for a living. They took in. And my older sister say, screaming, because my mom and my older sister worked so hard for this, for the living. They took away, and I remember exactly what I said. Sister, brother, you remember this happened. Remember what they did to us. So after they took that, they made sure they didn't got everything. So they left the house. We was empty-handed. We had nothing to live on. Just a furniture and all antique stuff. After they gone, then they start on educated people. People who educated, they're afraid that these smart people will someday rebel them or against them somehow. So they get rid of them too as well. The wealthy people, even they put them, you have to keep quiet. There's no freedom at all. There's no freedom of speech, no freedom of anything. You have to keep yourself quiet, otherwise you'll be in jail or you'll be shot. They're going to take you somewhere and shoot you. That's how communists did. So when that day happened, the whole thing, all things are objective, they met all objective, and then after that, they just control everybody in the city. So And after that, everything, life changes for us in Vietnam. After all the things happens. Home invasions. Have you heard home invasion? Have you ever had strangers invade your house without notice or warrant at all? We was a victim of that. After they took everything we had, my family had, they came to our house. They invaded our house. They came in and talked to my parents. Oh, your house is the perfect place for the weekly meetings. Do you think we say no to them? No, we had to agree with them. So we did. Not soon after, a week after, every single week, they have people use our house for the meeting. They use the main floor of the meetings. They didn't have a specific time to come in and have meeting. They come and show up because they're afraid. They think that we have hide something in there. So they set a meeting, and then after that they left. This happened so many months that we couldn't handle it anymore. We said, can you have less, maybe once meeting a month instead every week? They said, no, this is how it works. You have to obey us. We had no choice. And after that happens, after meeting, you know what the next step they did? Our home was confiscated. They have people moving in our house. A stranger coming out. They sent one of their people came to our house and lived with us. Would you like to have a stranger come to our house? No, and you know that they have gun. What you do? Yeah. You have to let them live it with you. And weeks after weeks, they send another person to move in with us. Another stranger moving with us. We have no choice. So we had a place to go. A good thing, my older sister, had a house across the street. So we had no choice. We have to move in there. But during that time, the communists kept pushing us to tell us, you need to go to countryside. You need to go to uncultivated farmland and work there. You not belong to the city. They would allow us to live in the city. So my mom had to go to the communist offices and bribe them so we can stay in our hometown longer. So we moved in with my older sister because the house, there's no way that you have more than 3-4 people live in your house. Everything we do, they watch. Even when you go to the shopping, groceries, they check your bag, make sure you don't have any meat. All you have is vegetables. I hope I was vegan back then. But they thought if you have that, that means you have money. So they have to watch it. How could you live in that kind of situations? No way. So we have to get out of the house. We evicted ourselves out of the house. So as soon as we move out, there are more bunch of people moving in to our house because they live in 4-story building. The house. It was much better than that. This house it was a beautiful house. And on the glass window, when they move in, these people are poor people. Didn't have a house, they are homeless people, they move in. They break any single glass pane on the window and sell it. On the mosaic bricks on your wall, they take out and sell it. And that's how it turned out to be that way. When we know we lost our house, so we moved into my sister's house. She was in about 1,000 square foot house. 9 of us moving in to her house. I don't have a picture of her on this time. If I have, I will show you. This was a tiny home, but she has a daughter and herself. Her husband at the time, he was still in jail, in the concentration camp. 9 of us moving in. And my mom, she was always very happy person. And she had a black, beautiful hair. Just overnight, she turned white. Her hair turned red. Just overnight. Because she was mad at them, but she couldn't do anything. Because my sister's house was just across the street to our house. So she looking at, she's closing at them, but she couldn't do it. After that, she couldn't handle it anymore. And my sister said, Mom, let's go in. Nothing you can do about it. Let's not go in. So living that situation, we have to find a way out. So they trying to get us to move to countryside, uncultivated farmland. We never done that before, but we have to guide them to have them to keep us stay in hometown. And my at the time, early 1980, 81. That was the time that we have war between us to Cambodia. So my two older brothers in the early 18 or 1920s, my mom was afraid that they would be drafted to a military. So she had to find a way to get out of the country. We became homeless. Every move we made, they watched us all the time, every single day. Even you walk on the street, they watch you. There's no freedom at all in that time of year. It was a fearful and stressful time for my parents, especially my mom. And we didn't have much food left. We eat what we can have. And we get to a point that we don't have much money to live on. If we keep living in Vietnam for a couple more years. So we have no money. So that's the point that we have no choice. We have to make a wise decision, difficult, critical decisions. We have to leave the country. So this is my parents, and this is my parents and my mom jewelry store. That's the old one, and this is my parents was taken at the New Year, Asian New Year, and this is a picture that we was together, and I was together, we're happy, and this is my mom, top floor of the house, her botanical gardens. And this a picture is taken, it was in California when we came here. So we had no choice. We have becoming boat people. Let me start with the definition of boat people. Boat people who leave the country, their country, because of economy, political reason, because of natural disasters, and freedom, or anything that persecutions, but our reason to leave the country because of political reason. I'm telling you, becoming boat people is not a choice. It was not our choice. We have to leave the country. So
So we've been trying to buy a seat in a boat. We lost many tries. First, my parents knew a friend, very close friend. He owned a boat. So my parents give them luggages, money, some money in there, and gold, some money there, so keep it. My parents went to their house and dropped it off because they say, you guarantee you're going to leave the country. No. They left the country without telling us. So they took all we have. After 3 or 4 strikes, we finally find one. And we talked with us. So we came to the boat. We finally got what we thought it was the true people, honest people, honest old people who let take us out. So we came so that day, only 7 of us, just 9 of us was asked by the people, because we have to leave the country at night. We have to sneak out at night. No daytime is no. If they call you, go to the boat at daytime, they put you in jail. So we sneak out at night, about 9 or 10 o'clock p.m., late at night. So all of us, even my 2 older brothers, and my twin brother, 9 of us was in there, my niece and my nephew. We came to the boat, and we came in. The boat owner say, go ahead. Jump over, we get on the boat. They say, go ahead, go under the deck. So we came in the deck. It was packed. I said, oh, it could be true. This could maybe the right. This maybe we could get out this time. So we came in the boat. And we was there. And I have a really weird feeling at the time, at a young age. I was only 8 or 9 years old. And we was there, we have a tiny spot close to the entrance. That's the only spot we had. We sat like this all the time. When you came in, you could imagine how smelly it was. A really unpleasant smells, a smell of urine, a smell of feces, a smell of engine oil. Anything you could imagine, you couldn't handle it. So we had no choice. We have to be there. We have to stick in there. So we came there, and then they closed the entrance to the lower deck. And they did. They closed the deck. And the boat was running, and we thought it was raining. But it was running on the side of the dock. It wasn't moving anywhere. And all of a sudden, we was there about less than 30 minutes. We heard a boom on the deck. But now we jumped on the boat. I said, what's going on? And my parents said, oh shit. Sorry, that's what they said. I said, oh shit. And found out that was the local communist official. They was on it. Up the deck, and they screaming. Because it's dark at night, so they had spotlights pointing right down to the deck. And they get out. Everyone get out of the boat. After that, I know you guys out there. Take it out, or we shoot you. We have to get off the boat, and we did, one by one. It was almost midnight. Think about it. It was late at night. So everybody walked out up to the deck. And we escorted to the truck. And they took all of us to the jail nearby. All night, everyone, it was I think on that boat it was like less 60 people, including men, women, and kids. They interrogated us one by one, whole night. And my dad told us, if they ask you anything, they say that I'm the I am responsible for this. So don't take the name to yourself. After they done that, they left. On Sunday, I saw my dad and another group of people were escorted to the other church. And then my mom and all of us knew that was the last time we see my dad. So that night, we didn't know where they were going to have my dad located somewhere. We didn't know. He could be killed. We didn't know. We didn't know what happened to my dad. So when they released us, so we came back home. So we came back home, and we worried about my dad. We didn't know and we were waiting. My dad was in jail for 6 months. And when he came home, he simply told us the situation. He was in jail. Everybody was put in a small room, maybe 12 by 12. And everybody, it's only a small window. Because they want to have big window because they can stick out or run away and escape. So they have a small window. In room, there no fan, no ceiling fan, no nothing. It was hot and humid. My dad told me that everybody just have a shorts on. They cannot put the shirt on because it's way too hot. They had no room to walk around. It was so packed. Every single day, my dad said they give him a cup of water, a bowl of rice, and a cup of salt. That's how he lives for 6 months. A cup of water you use for taking a bath, wash your face, brush your teeth, anything you do with just 1 cup of water a day. You know why? Because they want to escort them to the restroom all the time. The less food resource of water, the less they have to worry about that. That's how my dad lived in the jail. While he was in the jail, my mom never stopped thinking, find a way to get out of the country. So my mom and my oldest sister find someone to find a boat owner that we almost ran out of money. We had not much money. You know how we made money to the boat people? We made some down payments, and when we make it there, we pay the rest. That's how we pay them. So the first trip was failure. So we had to find a way, because my own two older brothers at the teens age, they could be drafted to find a work in Cambodia. So they had to leave the country. It was early, probably my oldest brother was 19, my second one was 17 maybe at that time. So they left. They was sent to my sister friend who had a boat, and luckily they make it. They make it. In 2 months, my dad, my mom was worried what happened to them because there's no way to find out where they at. Did they make it or not? That's the question. My mom kept worrying every single day until 2 months. Some of the relatives of the people that my 2 brothers with, they send a message to them. That's how my mom know that my 2 brothers make it safe. They landed. There was in Malaysia refugee camp. Pulau Bidang. I don't know if you heard that. Pulau Bidang in Malaysia. That's why they was there. So they lived there, and my mom felt relieved that her 2 oldest sons make it out to the country. So my mom next step sent me and my twin brother out again with the boat people. My sister friend who has because my sister friend family, they was on that boat too, so she feel feel like safe to save me and my twin brother. I was only 8 or 9 years old at the time. And unfortunately, we're not lucky. We was not lucky. We got caught. We got caught, and we got caught we was kept. We left in south, let me show you. We was hid down here. Further down here in this region, this area. But the area called Cà. I don't know if you heard that, the name of Cà in Singapore. If you have been in Vietnam before, you probably heard that. It's a very popular place for mosquitoes. And we just at age, who knows us? We've been there because we've never have experience with mosquito before. Right? So we came, they escort us to the jail in the night hutch, but it was open. We have a guard in front, they guard us around the hutch. So, but next to the hutch, it's not jail, but it's open. Like big windows open for everybody. So it's next to the big river, so that's why we have our mosquitoes. And because it's really calm river, if we have a lot of currents, we don't have much mosquitoes, but it's really calm. It's like, so we have mosquito on it. We didn't know that. So we're in jail. And when we got there, we didn't know what was on. We had some. We thought, it's been nice like Cambridge. You know that, right? We was young. Who knows? Have you experienced in that young age? We're exposed to the culture. I said, oh, great, it's calm. We didn't know what was happening because we were so young. So we slept with the shirt on. When we escaped the country, we traveled light. A mom bag with clothes you have on and a pair of clothes. That's all we have. A pair of socks. That's all you have when you escape the country. So we have back. So the first night, it was the worst night for us. When next day we woke up, our body, from face, our hand, we in shorts, okay? We were short, were beaten by mosquitoes. No, we didn't have any itch cream or medication put on. So we stayed there. And when you think a jail, that Vietnam communist jail is really nice here? No. It was on the dirt floor. It's uneven, wobble floor, dirt floor. It's like on the street. I mean, I'd rather sleep on that parking lot better than when it was. It was horrible. And we stayed there. And we saw people there, young age. The communists put them on labor. The young age, they carry wood, a big wood, every day. We was that age, about 19 years old, so they didn't ask us to do yet, but they probably would. So we stayed in jail for years, for 3 months. We didn't know when that was came home yet, because we were in jail. During that 3 months, same thing. They give you a cup of water, a bowl of rice. They cook a big pot of rice for everybody. You have to cook. They don't cook, so they give you a big old pot, rice pot, and a cup of rice, salt, and cup of water. You know what? After eating too much salt and rice, you got sick of it. You know what's the flavors? The most flavor I still remember? When you cook the rice and the bottom is burned, that's the most flavorful things at all for us. I always remember that all the rest of my life. It's at that age, you think about it, that young age like that. So we have to experience that way. So after 3 months, we lived in there. And we thought we never get out. And we was with my sister friend. She got caught with her kid as well. Her kid was about 5, 6 years old. to get caught too. So we begging them to let us go. After begging every single damn day, finally they let us out. And on the way home, my mom didn't know that we would make it out. She didn't know that. On the way home, we got a message, my mom on the way to see us. So she took a bus and she brought some food, water, and clothes for us. But we're on the way back home. So we did. So my mom came there, and when she got home, she said, "Sia, I don't see you there. I'm happy you're home." And she left food, water, and drink for people who left behind. So she did. I remember when I got to the bus station, and I don't know you being in South Vietnam, where this country in the country, and it's the only station like bus station or any bus station, they have a food court and like people carrying food, cooking rice and barbecue pork and drink. And my sister friend had money, so she bought us. We were so damn hungry. So she bought us a plate of rice and a small ribs, a barbecue ribs. I tell you, it was amazing. It was so delicious. I keep hungry. I keep eating. I said, "Any more?" No. So we came home. We're lucky. Soon enough we came home. Soon enough, my dad was home. He just released not long ago, after being in jail for 6 months. Then my mom and my older sister never stopped planning to find a seat in the boat. So we found another boat owner. And we did, and she did. And lucky, I wasn't come. Otherwise, if they left early, we won't be left behind. It was the right time that we came home and we believe again. You think we was afraid? No. We know that as long as we live under communist government, we're going to die slowly, sooner or later. There's no way that we could survive another 5 or 6 years. So we have to leave the country. So we left. So we got out. And we had sister time as sister. We haven't seen them for 30 years. The people were left behind. My sister was left behind, I think. So that's a boat that's more like it. That's how packed it was. So we got out. Everybody. We on the trip again. We went on the boat again. We're not afraid. Because the freedom is what we're seeking for. And how much it costs, we have to do it. So we got into the boat. This was a small boat. It's about approximately 50 foot long. And we had 64 people in the boat. So we was told to go in the deck again. And this it was, because it owned fixing boat. You never fixing boat, you never clean the boat. You smell fish, because fishing boat, right? I explain myself again, a smell of urine, a smell of feces, a smell of engine oil, anything that you could smell, and you cannot experience yourself how you manage that. But you had no choice. So we got in the boat. It was on the boat for almost 2 days. Why the boat? This our boat leaving. Okay, so we left the country. Let me go back. This picture. We leave from here. It's in China Sea. That's where we left from our country. So we was in the 50-foot long boat. It was packed, had children, women, young, and middle-aged, and men. the husband of that was packed, was under the deck. It was horrible, I tell you. You don't want to be in that situation we was in at all. So we're in there. We make it out in 2 days. After we're on the deck for 2 days. Think about it, on the deck for 2 days. We have water, we brought some water, we did, so that when we live on some crackers, that's why we live on the deck. After 2 days, the boat owners told us, it's safe now, everybody could come out. I tell you, it was an amazing time of my life. Finally, I got my fresh air. I could breathe. After being in that situation, the smell, everything else, after you get fresh air, you say, oh my God, I'm in here. That's how I feel. So we came up the boat. So the first time, it was not stormy. When we came up there, we enjoyed still looking at the view. I remember my older sister and me was right on the side of the boat. Looking at the view, it was night. It was a full moon. It was just beautiful. And I said, oh my God, we're on a journey. We're on vacation. No. 2 days later, we faced the storms. The storm you never experienced before. You don't want to be in that storms. So everybody was scared, so they ran into on the deck. You know the deck, right? The deck, on the top of the deck, they have a latches, so water keep running on the deck, so we got that. We have to hold something, otherwise we're going to be over the wall. And we did. And everybody prayed to God, please be patient. Please let pass the storm past us. Please. And the storm passed. After facing the storm, not only storm that we faced during on the trip, to escape the trip, but we have to face the Thailand pirates. We heard the horrible stories before we left the country, we escaped the country, we stick out. We heard a lot of stories about how the Thailand pirates did to the woman and the girls. Some be brutally, when the pilot caught your boat, they separate the man on one side, a woman and the girls on one side. And they stripped whatever you have, the jewelry you have, and they stop. If they didn't know, and this girl thought it was like rescue ship, so they dressed really nice with makeup on, but it was a big mistake. The Thailand pirates brutally tortured, murdered, and raped them. After raping them a whole night, they took the woman and kid to the ship. And the husband, if they are against them, they shoot them. There are a lot of that situation, that stories, true story. There's a lot of books. If you look it up, if you can read, I don't know if it's translated in English or not, but there's a lot of books. It's a thick book. In that book, they have tell you all the story, who been through that. Mental pirates, everything else. It's true story. It's really bad. It's sad. So we heard that. So we met the Thailand pirates. Unfortunately, we met the Thailand pirates. Then, all the husband and family, and they said, quick, quick. They told all the woman and the girls, go find something. Smear yourself. Your face, your body, your clothes, whatever you can find. You could find on the boat. What you could find. There's nothing to find except engine oil, faxes, urine. So they use of urine to pour on your body. And they use faxes to treat my face. All the girls and the women have to do that. Because why? Because if they look ugly, they look so smelly, the Thailand pirate will touch them. That's a way to get out, to escape from the Thailand pirates. So they did. So it worked. Fine, worked. They left, they tripped all the time. They left themselves. They jumped on that boat. They didn't kill anybody, which was so lucky. Everybody after that happens, I say, oh my God, we're so lucky. We really are lucky. And we got out. There we go again. We're on the boat. And this time we know, we say, well, everybody was talking, let's take different route. So we try to avoid Thailand pirate ships. So we did. But this time we had another storm, forced another storm again. And for that, it was the 10 days on this ocean. We on the 10 days at the sea. The food, the water, anything we have is running out. Even the engine oil for the boats, the engine boat, is running out. So we have to off and on the engine, finally, to make it faster on the ocean because it's so slow. Because many people, the weight of many people on the boat is holding the boat, keep it slow. So we have to do weight, use engine, how much engine left we have to drive the boat. So more of us was so tired. We didn't have much food left to go. So we went to, when we saw the island. We didn't know what it was, but we saw a lot of coconut trees. No people there, no nothing. So we had to stop. So we jumped up, and we there. Everybody jumped up we could climb up the coconut tree, get some coconuts, and we did. We stayed, everybody wants to stay there for overnight because it's way too tight on the boat. People get sick, motion sickness, so we stayed overnight. And next morning, they say, there's nobody here. On this island, it's only coconut. That's why we can live at. What else we can live? We cannot live here. So we jump on the boat, went again. So we left, we're on the boat. There we go again, we're floating. We're floating for another 2 days. Then we saw an island. There was a whole bunch of people. We didn't know what it was. But we think, oh yeah, a lot of people are not here, also the Asians, right? So we went there, but it was packed. So we went there, the Coast Guard will let us in. They said, no, we didn't know what language it was. It sounded like Chinese or Malaysian language. We didn't know what language it was, so we make sign language. They said, out, out. They pushed us like that. And I say, no, we need to go in. No, out. And they pointed guns at us. So we cannot, they wouldn't accept us because the island was packed of people there. They wouldn't let us. And later we found out that was Malaysia refugee camp. It was so packed, they wouldn't accept any more people. So they pulled us out again to the ocean. And at that time, the condition of the boat was, there's no way that we can survive another 10 days. We're on the 13 days already on the ocean. So later on, 2 days later, we saw another island and we saw people there, but we had to say we had no way to leave or stay on the boat and ship again on the ocean in this condition. No engine is dying on us. Food out, water out, anything is not having much. So we had no way. So we stayed put on that island. So we saw them, nobody stopped us. So we jumped out the boat and we get there. Everybody was at time was so tired. Somebody had to be carried into the island or from the boat. I jumped up. I remember everyone. I didn't have shoes on. We all barefoot. Including me, including myself. That was in hot summer. It was like maybe probably in noontime. So I jumped on the boat. It was night in the cold water in the ocean. But when I ran into the shore, it was damn hot. So I ran to the shade of the coconut tree because it was burning my feet at the time. I had no shoes on, no slippers on. And we did. We got there. And the good thing, nobody stopped us. Nobody let get us out, wouldn't let us out. So we stayed. So everybody was in. And it was a lot of people was there with me, a lot of Vietnamese. We lucky, we were so happy to see people the same like us, who speak like our language. But the island was, the refugee was very packed already. So my twin brothers, all 7 of us, my parents, my older sister, my niece, my nephew, my twin brother, 7 of us walking down to the refugee camp. And we walked down, and nothing we can find. Every spot was taken. So we walked down. We found finally, most close to the end of refugee camp, we found a spot on the right-hand side. I said, it was dirt floor, nothing covered us, because all these refugee people who live there, they have hutch, or they have a camp where they live in, but this was an empty lot. So we got in, was in there. So we luckily found a spot. So my mom, at that time, was about 1 o'clock afternoon. So it's that sunlight. So my mom said, okay, find what you get. And we didn't have, it's a dirt floor too. And our debris leaves. My mom said, get something to clean up. So we got a branch of trees, we scraped it to clean the place well. So we stayed there. And my mom said, you guys stay here with Dad and go out. To find something we can find, because we had no shoes. Only we didn't have slippers on. We had nothing. We had clothes on. We have some bag clothes we could find. So my mom left us there. So she came out, and when a few hours later she came home. She had somebody give her used pans and pots. A bag of candies, some slippers, old slippers, unused, is not broke, and a plastic, old, used paper top. So we use that. So I tell you, the bag of candy, or piece of candy, that was a fruit candies, and we only had one bag. So my mom, she eat one of us each. That was the most delicious candy I had. I tell you that, because we never had candies. It was a delicious one. So we had that. Then we were okay. So my mom said, yeah. But the plastic top that she brought home, it saved us that night. That night it was pouring rain. Remember, we live on the dirt floor, right? So we were so tired. It's almost early at night. My mom woke us up. Wake up, wake up! It's raining. What we had to do, we didn't have an umbrella. We had nothing like raincoat to cover. We have a top to hold on the top in our hand. We were sitting all night because raining like pouring down in cats. We hold the top to cover us so we won't get wet for a whole night. So we lived there for 2 or 3 days. And my mom said, oh, we cannot live this way anymore. We cannot. We won't survive in these conditions. We had rain, we had wet, we get sick, we had no medicine, we got nothing. So she said, let's do it again. So she went out again. So she came home, she has a smile on her face. I'm trying not to emotional now. She has a big smile on her face. It's like, hey, everybody, get your things packed. Whatever we have, pack, even a plastic bag, every pack, I found a place for us. We were lucky she found a place that was open hatch. But we had roof, we had bamboo bed, we got everything like we need. It's something to cover our head at night during rain. So we moved in there. So we moved in that camp, and we lived there almost a year. Yeah. And during that time, I witnessed a lot of funerals. people, relatives, sons, kids, brothers, I see brothers and sisters died. The funerals were buried there. Oh my goodness, you never see. And they, is walking out where we stay. I think it happened once a month. It was so sad. So we had no choice, we just lived there 1 year. And let me see what next. Okay, so the place we stayed in Indonesia refugee camp. That's where we stayed. That's only the country would let the refugee camp would take us in. So we did the food, and find out after we lived there for a few days, and the people who lived there, they guide us where we get the food at. So we got the food from the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugee. That's where they donated us in the church and stuff like that. Until now, I try the best I can to give back what they have us. And here's a refugee camp like it looks like. That's what it looked like. But this is one of the example pictures that what the refugee looked like. It was packed. Some places were packed. Here's the boat. After based on the statistic of the people who died at the seas, we have according to United UNHCR, you have between 216,000 boat people die at sea. And facing storms, they have facing storm, disease, starvation, and include pirates. And in 1981, the first 10 months, you have a total of 349 boats being attacked by pirates, an average of 3 times each. That's how it happened. 228 women and girls being abducted, and 881 people was dead or missing. We don't know that. That's how people who had their relatives who left the country on boat. Until now, they don't know where they are. They still try to find them. And 484 dead are murdered by the Thailand pirates. They murdered them. And 583 identified rape victims. That's how many people was killed or died at the sea. That's how the boat looks like. Some of the boat looks like that. That's how many people are there. How could you live in the oceans like that? It's easy. You're facing death. Not at all. Our experience was life and death experience. It really was. So we make it out to the refugee camp. How? My 2 older brothers was left the country before us. So they were sponsored by the Catholic Church in New York. And the pastor there was a friend of my dad. And he knew my dad when he was in Vietnam before 1975. So he did some paperwork to sponsor my 2 brothers from New York. From a Malaysian refugee camp to New York. They didn't live there for a long time because it's too cold for them. Because you live in a tropical, country, you never experience with snow, So they finally found my older sister's ex-sister-in-law, who used to work for the American Embassy in Vietnam. She left Vietnam before that because she was part of a group of people who have a visa to leave the country. So she got her A&M moving to California. So they lived in San Jose at that time, in California. So when we got sponsored by the church, my own two brother and my older sister, ex-sister-in-law helped to sponsor us. So we finally make it to America. So we lived in America in 4 years, and since 1981 to 1984. Then somehow, I don't know why we moved to Kansas. Until now, I don't know why either. I tell you, have you been in Wichita, Kansas? Have you been in Kansas before? I tell you, they don't miss anything. You miss total adopted. That's all you two people you miss. But you don't miss anything. But I know, we lived there almost 30 years. Only thing we missed, steak and corn. That's it. Anything else, but the weather it's horrible there. It's still horrible. My sister lived there, my older sister, she didn't move. She said that last week, she called me one day, oh my God, it's beautiful there, 90 degrees. And next day she called me, shit, it's cold. It was 30. I said, oh, there you go. You love Kansas. Yeah, you say there. So yeah, we lived there for almost like 30 years. In 84 to I travel a lot for work, so I don't live there all the time. I used to work in aviation industry in Wichita, Kansas. So I don't live there. So, but when we moved to Wichita, Kansas was the summer of 1984. That's the day we moved in, we was 9 of us. Everyone moved from California to we lived in 900 square foot apartment. We had it was summer. Think about summer in Wichita, Kansas. It could be hundreds, over hundreds. We live on with the fan. We only have one AC in the house. So it's only one room, so we can share. So we lived there. Like my mom, she couldn't handle the heat. That summer that took her away. 1984 when she died. And that day, that time, she wasn't that bad. Her final wish was to want to see my 3 sisters who left behind. She called them their names every day. Every last breath she could, the last breath, she still called their names. Because I had 3 older sisters still there. So that's final, and finally she was to see them before she died. Then when we moved when I left there, then I traveled to Connecticut and worked for contractors, engineers. I'm a contractor there, so we did there. And come on, I'm not really full-time in Wichita, Kansas at that time. So then we lived full-time I lived full-time in 2010, then we bought the house in 2015. We moved in 2017. But I'm telling you, what I would like to leave you before I conclude my speech today, my story today, I'd like to leave you with these notions. Be inquisitive. When you ever met a boat people, and you wonder, we have to ask why they became boat people, and why they leave the country. And be inquisitive, we understand them. Because you don't know how many of them to start with, how many they make it to the country. Be inquisitive. I'm telling you, the next notion I'd like to leave to with you, freedom is not free at all. We paid a high price. It was life and death experience, but we make it here. And this country is a great country. It was written in 49 years ago. Back then, America was written 49 years ago and don't have to be written again. But we make sure that, I think it's not to make written again, I think laughing again, it makes more sense to me at this time. And the last notion I'd like to leave with you, when you never been with communists, you make sure you don't trust them totally. Don't ever trust them, but watch what they do. I've been through that, and I have that experience. And we all have it, my family and I have experience. Never trust them, ever. But freedom is not free. And being both people is not a choice. Definitely, both people are not a choice. And thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions?
While they're thinking of questions, I'd like to just introduce our pastor, and she'll just come up for a moment. And we do have refreshments for you back there. There's lots of goodies, from fruit to crackers and everything. And thank you so much for coming. We'll take some questions in a minute. Just wanted to have introduce Pastor Tricia Lowe.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing. And of course, you know, a lot of us are kind of grumpy this week for what our elections may have been, just a little bit grumpy. And then we hear a story like this and we realize we are so blessed. We are so blessed. And it's true, freedom is not free, and we have to continue to fight for it every day.
Yes.
Freedom for all people,
Yes.
not just people who have enough money, or not people who have a certain color skin,
Yes.
but everybody, because there is not a person in this world whose eyes you look into that isn't deeply loved by God. So we remember that, and thank you for sharing this wonderful story.
Thank you. So any questions? Oh, go ahead.
How do you find your sister-in-law?
Which one? I have 9 I have 5 sisters.
After 30 years, how did you find yours?
So after 30 years, at that time when we left the country, we have how many sisters? I have 4 sisters still left in Vietnam. My next older sister, who tried to escape the country on boat, had no choice, but she got caught. She was in jail again too. So she gave up trying to leave the country on boat. But later on, she got sponsored by my older sister. The other sister being sponsored too, but she left the country by boat. They both got caught, so they gave up. They're afraid to die in the sea. My oldest one was sponsored from my older sister, so all 3 sisters who left behind were sponsored here after my mom passed away. So it took a long time. It took like 4 many years, and it took us to get here. We still following the right process to be here, was a refugee and became American citizen. We became American. My parents, my 3 brothers, my sister, my nephew, became the American citizen in 1985. That took us almost 5 years. But I'm telling you, this country is rigged, and it's not why we're here, because this America is so rigged. It's so rigged, and don't need to be rigged again. So that's why I'm saying this. Why people think we have to be rigged again? Any more questions? Yes.
How did you pull it together and get the education that you got? You skipped the whole chapter.
Oh, okay, that's a real.
How did you get your education that you got once you arrived?
Yeah. You know how the Asian cultures back in early age, in the 80s, Asian cultures is different than what we have now. The parents, the Asian parents, still back then they still holding old-fashioned and they're thinking old-fashioned way. So they want the children to be my family, except my son, but my family, my parents. I want you guys to be a doctor, engineers, but no lawyers. We don't want you lie. So that's why we all, my first generation, where my generation is, right? We are engineers, or businesswomen, or teachers. But my later generation, my niece, my nephew, they all medical doctors. My older sister, she had 3 girls and a boy. 3 girls are medical doctors. One of them is brain surgeon, and one is pediatrician, and one is a general doctor. The boy is engineers.
Have a move here for you.
And my older brother had 2 kids, a boy and a girl. They was born here. One of them is kidney surgeon, one is heart surgeon. So the next generation tend to be in doctor ways, but not all of them. And I have a niece that my oldest brother's daughter, her older daughter, he's still, my older brother, he have an old-fashioned thinking. He wants her to be a doctor, but she finally makes up her mind she becomes a teacher. And you know what? How she was scared to her dad. She couldn't confront her dad that I want to be a teacher. You know how she did that? She wrote a letter. She wrote a letter to her dad. I said, sorry, Dad. I will tell you bad news. I cannot be a teeth doctor yet. You want me to be. Sorry. And she liked what she did. That's what new generation like. They want to be what they want to be. That's the freedom of what you want to be.
Did you get scholarships or anything? I mean, you have a
When-
high education.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm not smart, but I'm trying. Thank you very much, Julie. So when I came here, after my mom passed away, I have to support myself. I was with med students. Believe it or not, I was with med students. I was wanting to be a doctor as well, but when I talked to the dean, they say, how long it takes me to be a doctor? They said, 7 more years, and maybe 9 years. No way. I couldn't be that. I couldn't stay away that long because I had no money. I had to support myself. I'm very independent like my mom. I work hard. I'm not smart, but I work hard to what I want to do. But I always keep in my mind, my mom parents keep saying to us, you are rather lose everything, but education. You have to do that. Don't give up. My mom will never give up. She always tried. She never cooked, I tell you. She never cooked until she got here. When we lost the money, she had to cook. But she usually back in Vietnam, which was a middle class. So we have a maid. I had nanny. Believe that? Until 6 years old. And I still contacted her until now. In Vietnam, she lives in Vietnam. She's 90 something now. I still pay. Sometimes I send her money too to help her out. But we have a chauffeur. My dad couldn't drive. Oh, you don't judge my dad for driving. You're going to see your car in your car house. That's what my dad. So I have a chauffeur. We have that. So we was comfortable when we was Vietnam before communists took over. So we had no choice. So we didn't have to. My dad, my mom, but my mom never. When she came in, she never cooked. She kept trying and cook. And she had one dish. She cooked and she turned out bread. She said, "Oh shit, it don't work. It don't work." And she stayed all night and she tried to make it work. That's how she did. And I'm sorry. I have a bad gene from my mom. I have to keep trying. I keep cooking. But I know, I never cook, I tell you, I never cook in my life. When my mom passed away, I tell you this funny story. We lived with my parents, my dad, at that time we lived in apartment. We didn't have money to buy a house. We didn't have. And we cooked for my dad. You know how we cooked a dish, and it was the ribs, the steak of meat. We cooked so much, we put too much sugar, it stuck on the plate. That's how bad it was. And my dad said, how much sugar did you put in? I don't know that. It tastes good. I said, don't cook again. So that's how bad that was. But I learned from tasting people and tasting the food from people made. I'm glad so some of you guys try my food, and I'm glad you like my guinea pigs. So I'm glad to do that. But back to education. Education is most very important to us. So we have to focus on education. We don't need to be wealthy or rich, but education has to come first. That's my experience. Legacy, that's one to help us to be that. So I've been trying so hard. So I was with my students, so I finished my bachelor's in science for biology chem. So I finished that. I said, after I asked my dean how many years to be medical doctor, so I gave up. So so I switched to engineer. And my older brother-in-law told me once, Juan, if you cannot be a doctor, be somebody. You cannot live with what you make right now. That's what he told us. He said that. I remember today. I was working for, and while I was in BMed, I was a co-op student at the medical school, medical dialysis, kidney dialysis in St. Francis Kidney Dialysis in Wichita, Kansas. I worked there for years because I want to witness how the doctor treated his patients. One of the class required me to be a witness of the kidney transplant. I was short, but had to have a stool on me instead. I remember, it was I have to be at the hospital about 4:30 or 5 o'clock because the service starts at 7. So they have to but I saw how they took out the kidney out from the donor to receiver. The kidney receiver was on the next door. It's amazing. It was amazing. So I say I learned it. But not because I want to be a doctor, I want to help people. I like to help people. That's why I want to do that. But unfortunately, I have to make some living. So I switched to become electrical engineers. So I finished, I had the bachelor's electrical engineering in 2 years. And after that, I have another bachelor called the entrepreneurship. It's become something to help people to open business. They get a loan from the bank. At that time, my older sister wanted to open the grocery store, but she didn't have much money. So I helped her and the bank, when we went together to the bank, and she asked for a loan, they said, you have a business plan or not? And she didn't have it. So she said, you need to have a business plan, so they know how much you need to borrow from them. So I helped her to write a business plan, and she got a loan. That's why I have that bachelor's degree. Then I get bored, I didn't do much at all. So in Wichita, I said, what else you can do? This is boring, it's cold, weather was terrible, and they didn't cold. So what I do, work in school. So I went back to work, and I worked for, at the time I worked for Boeing. So then I got some help for support, some assistance from Boeing. They give you when you want pursuing master degrees. So I have a master MBA. And I went to 2 years to get my master MBA at France University in Wichita, Kansas. And then this green is to symbolize that I make it. I got 4 straight A's. So I get bored again, so I come back. I work parallel. At the time I worked in Master of Business Administration at the same time I'm pursuing Master of System Engineering. So I finished that. Then I get more again, so I went back to post and be a doctor. You know why I want to do that? Because all my nieces look for Dr. Faye, Dr. this, Dr. that. So I want to be Dr. too. So I went back and I signed up. I approved for going to information system. So I do get a doctorate degree, doctoral programs for information system. So I came there. So I have the first class, I took class, I passed, I got B's. I surprised myself either. Oh my goodness. I said, and I never believed mastery is so hard really, but the doctorate degree is much harder. You know what? Every paper you write, the teacher is picky, nicky, every single word. The grammars, everything. Oh my God, it was so hard. But I make it big. So I told, and 3, 5, 6. Yeah, both doctorates. So I came to ask me how long to be a doctor again. So say about 5 years. I said, no, thank you, sir. I won't be a doctor. So I gave up, and that's it. That's what I tried my best. But I'm not smart. I just tell you, I'm working hard. That's all I am. I try to be the best person I want to be. I want to follow my mom's instruction, be a good person.
Please feel free to have refreshments, and if you want to stay and talk, I'm sure he'd do it till 7 p.m.